Creating a function machine can be time-consuming and awkward. The function represented by the diagram in item number 5 can also be written algebraically as an equation, y equals 2x plus 5. Number 8, which is the last question we have for today. For each function, find ordered pairs for x equals negative 2, x equals 5, x equals 2/3, x equals 0.75, and create a table of values. So again, we're creating tables. So I'm going to go ahead and put this. Now again, we have our x and our y, our input and our output. It wants me to plug in negative 2. It wants me to plug in 5. It wants me to plug in 2/3. And lastly, it wants me to plug in 0.75. So I'm going to again use my calculator for time purposes. Okay, and we are going to do 9 minus 4 times negative 2. It gives me a positive 17. Now I'm going to do 9 minus 4 times 5, negative 11. 9 minus 4 times 2/3. I don't like the fact that we've gone to that decimal again, so I'm going to do math and fraction, and it'll give it to me as an improper, or we could say this is 6, this is 6 1/3 is the way to write it as a mixed number. Okay, now we're going to do 9 minus 4 times 0.75, 6. Let's look at this one over here. Again, we're going to give our inputs as our x's and our y's are going to be our output. So we're going to use those same 4 numbers, negative 2, 5, 2/3, and 0.75. I'm going to use my calculator again. This time I'm going to take 1 and divide by the number. So 1 divided by negative 2, negative 0.5. I'm okay with this being a decimal because it didn't start out with a fraction, okay? We're going to do 1 divided by 5. That's going to give me 0.2, sorry. 1 divided by 2/3. That gives me 1.5. Or, remember, we don't like that, right? Because we've gone from having a fraction and now we've got a decimal. So I'm going to put math fraction, and that's going to change that to a fraction for me. But remember that this is also the same thing as 1 1/2. Because remember, this is going to be hard to graph to find 3 halves on there. So it's easier to find 1 1/2. Okay, so keep that in mind. And we're going to do the last one. 1 divided by 0.75. Gives me 1.3 repeated. Well, let's math fraction that. Oh, nope, I can take that because I need a decimal. You're right. So this would be 1.3 with a line over it because it's constantly repeating. On to your final debriefing question.